Good morning. Good morning, Saturday morning, and welcome to a new show that we're going to evolve over the next few weeks called The Weekender. He came up with the name, didn't you? Anyway, I'm Warren, as you know, and I'm joined by Justin, who's the spitting image of Carl Pilkington. This is Lloyd, brother Lloyd.
As you know.
Yeah.
I think we can introduce ourselves too.
Yeah.
I'm Lloyd.
This is Lloyd, and we're joined by the first of the many new people that you're going to see over the next weeks. This is Stu, and Stu heads up the whole Tabletop Nation project. So Stu, describe yourself.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I'm big hobbyist, love all sorts of things. Tournaments, I like campaign weekends, narrative play, role play, pretty much anything involving wasting time and upsetting the wife, I tend to get heavily involved into. So a big fan, and I'm hoping that's going to translate into Tabletop Nation. Very, very exciting year coming up.
Yeah. Now, a lot of you guys will remember the announcement of Tabletop Nation. So Tabletop Nation today, it'll evolve into all sorts of things later, but today, Tabletop Nation, we're focusing on events. So those events are physical events here at the new facility that we have in Essex, but also global events that happen here and elsewhere at the same time. So stay tuned. We'll talk about a couple of events during this that we have coming up, but stay tuned and keep in touch, because we have events that wherever you are in the world, you should be able to participate in some way. Anyway, I'm going to kick off by saying Happy New Year, everybody.
Oh yeah.
Happy New Year.
We're
Happy
into
New Year.
2013. We did survive the apocalypse. It was a bit of a damp squib, really.
I'm among the people who feel a little bit disappointed that we all didn't die.
Yeah.
Big flaming pit of fire.
You know, you're having a joke about that, but I do have to admit that sometimes I think it would have just have been handy. You know, just the whole world all goes up at the same time. Just boom.
Nobody feels left out.
No, nobody feel left out. It would have been like a big commune.
Yeah,
you know?
no work on Monday.
No work on the Monday. So
It's a rubbish idea, though, because you've got to, whenever you get any of these kind of things, you've got to assume, you've always got to be the person that says it's never going to happen, because you can never be proved wrong. All the people that
that's true,
say,
because if it does happen, then yeah.
no one knows. Absolutely, there you go. Yeah, there you go.
So obviously Christmas has been and came upon us. I'm hoping Santa came down many of your chimneys and emptied his sack all over your floor. What did you get for Christmas, Justin?
I got King of Tokyo.
Way.
I'm very happy with this. Surprisingly, from you. A surprisingly thoughtful gift from someone who makes my life hell. But no, brilliant little game. I'm very happy with it.
I have to admit, I did give it to him on Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. He took it like a man.
Oh, and so it begins.
But the look of joy on his face, it was, because he's been in love with manga for so many years now, and for you to get manga and board game all in one.
Yes, and then I can't wait, because I'm looking forward to getting my hands on. There's one expansion out for it now.
Yep.
And there's more to come in the future, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys, because we have a series called Battlefield Autopsy, which we're hoping to air on Mondays, where we're going to, hopefully one of them very soon will be, a kind of a discussion or report on how a game or two of King of Tokyo was went.
Yep.
Stu, how did you do for Christmas, buddy?
I did really well, actually. And my wife, love her to bits. She indulges me terribly, and she. Hopefully you guys have heard of Kickstarter, and
yes.
she got me in on Mongoose's Kickstarter. So this is just the first of many large, makes a change for just more mysterious brown parcels to arrive.
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah. It's pretty much everything Mongoose Miniatures make for Judge Dredd.
Ooh,
so
I am the law.
Yeah, loads of this. You got all sorts of stuff in here, including the bit that everybody gets very excited about, and I now bet you I can't find. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to find it now. You've got Walter, the Wobot, and here he is, the new Lawmaster that they're bringing out.
Let me get a look at that. Oh, a nice bike, yeah.
Yeah, it's nice and chunky.
Yeah. They've really done well.
Metal too.
Oh yeah, they've really done well with this stuff.
So that is a big box of stuff. Stay tuned, guys, as well, because I'm sure we're going to have plenty of Judge Dredd stuff coming up over the next while.
Do you just call him Judge
Dredd? Judge Dredd.
Dog damage is dream damaged.
We have a Judge Dredd event on the way as well.
Yeah.
So can you spill the beans on that one?
I mean, you'll find with Tabletop Nation, because I'm very much a an active hobbyist, rather than kind of just like sitting back and thinking, oh yeah, what do the kids play these? It's basically what I like to play. So I'm going to be inflicting my own personal hobby on people for at least the next 12 months. And as I've got a load of Judge Dredd stuff for Christmas, we're going to do a Judge Dredd narrative weekend. We're looking at doing it in June. We're just in conversation with Mongoose at the moment. We're talking about going out into the Cursed Earth, seeing about all those nasty muties out there, sending out the Justice Department and bringing some law out to the wastelands. Get the Angel Gang in there. Loads of really cool stuff. We're just at the early stages of putting it together, but certainly over the next couple of months you should be seeing some very, very cool stuff. Watch this space.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, for Christmas, I had a strange Christmas because we have a little girl and she's just turned 2 just before Christmas. And this was her first Christmas where she actually really got to grips and understood the whole concept of Christmas. So we just had a massive indulgent Christmas around her. I did get a game for Christmas, but I'm trying to get my 2-year-old early into the whole concept of playing at a tabletop. And she loves Play-Doh. So I tried to get a game that she could in some way be involved in, even if she wasn't actually playing by the rules.
Risk.
No, I got Rapido. so Christmas was spent, for me, basically making dough.
Excellent. How old's your daughter?
She's 2. She made more creative stuff than I did. Basically, anything I made, ultimately looked rather phallic.
Excellent. But she didn't.
No, she made amazing stuff. She made a cow and a penguin and
that's
all sorts
cool
of stuff. And I even played him a game.
Yeah, you played against me.
Yeah,
and beat me abysmally.
Yeah, I'm
not the most artistic. I've never claimed
because I cheat. Because what I do is every card that I pull up that tells me what to make, I flatten my piece of dough and I carve it out in the shape. Instead of trying to make it like out there, I just flatten it and then lift it up as a flat shape. Yeah, that's a car. It's obviously a car. So it just I don't know if the rules allow you to do that or not. But
I don't think I saw anything that said you can't do a 2D representation.
Yeah, well, that's it. But in all seriousness, it was great. It had Savannah sitting around the table with us. She's able to play with her dough. I'm able to play my dough. And, it's a way to share with a 2-year-old, without having to expose her to minis just yet. She will be a mega gamer. She's going to win a 40k GT. I'm telling you, she's going to win a 40k GT.
Or risking her breaking some of the expensive minis.
What about you, bro?
I had a very sparse Christmas when it comes to hobby side of things.
Yeah?
I didn't get anything board game. I didn't get anything role playing. I didn't get anything wargaming.
Yeah, but tell them about your real hobby.
Oh yes, the old man.
Lloyd is the old man of the Beast of War crew. Lloyd is railroad freak, aren't you, dude?
Oh.
Yeah, you love train sets, don't you?
I love
And there's
them.
nothing wrong with loving train sets. It's because I do have a little passion for train and rail myself. What are you rolling at the moment? You've got a kind of like a modern type thing. It's modern locomotives you're into. It's not the little steam engines, is it?
It's the modern ones at the minute, yeah.
Yeah. So it sounds. I got my train set, but
No, you didn't get me a train set.
Not a train set,
No,
a carriage.
Exactly. I opened the carriage on Christmas morning, and I was looking, I go, well, that's kind of interesting. I like that. Too bad it has connectors that I can't connect it to anything, so it just sits there.
What do you mean you can't connect it to anything?
You bought me a carriage that doesn't connect to anything. There's no connectors on anything.
Right, so hang on, he bought you the wrong format.
Well, that's all right because he bought me a jigsaw.
It's a jigsaw of a
penguin. Yeah, that was brilliant. Yeah. Anyway,
penguins.
Christmas is not over for you, Lloyd, because the guys here at the new facility, and there are tons of them. I can't wait for you to meet them all. Actually, clubbed together and got you this.
Yeah, let's see.
They got him the Age of the Train calendar. So you were expecting this, were you? So they've got this for you. You've to put this pride of place on your desk. And just look at that lovely locomotive there.
That's nice. Yeah. You just talk among yourselves. I'll just flick through the pictures.
Anyway, the purpose of this show, The Weekender, is to kind of give you a recap of all the things you may have missed on Beast of War over the course of the last week. And to give us a chance to wax lyrical about some stuff that we wanted to talk about. Or to highlight stuff that we maybe haven't yet learned anything about and we just talk rubbish about it.
Yeah.
Kicking off, it's Saturday morning, so obviously the big news is from midnight last night, the Dark Angels launched.
Mm-hmm. Lovely, lovely.
Yeah, we say lovely, lovely, but, well, we have yet, okay, it's too early yet to know exactly what we think of it, but we have seen the pictures of it. And this is a prime opportunity for me to kick into a little segment that's going to be in this show called Release Watch. Release watch is basically I just want to run down, because we're now based at the TTN facility and we have Wayland Games, TTN, Beast of War all here, we're kind of exposed to every single release that comes out. And this is an opportunity for me to kind of run over all the new stuff that came out this week. So kicking off, obviously we have Games Workshop, the Dark Angels. We have, there was 3 fine cast. There was Asmodai, Belial, which looked really nice, and Samael Corvex, which we reckon is, well, it's just a repack, isn't it?
Yeah,
of
that's
something
exactly
that
it.
was already there.
Yeah.
We were having a little discussion about the Battle Force. Now, is it just a repack, is it?
Yeah. It used to be the Ravenwing Battle Force, and now it's the Dark Angel Battle Force, which only contains Ravenwing models. I'm sure there is. I think what it is, it's and for a lot of it, you've got to remember, it's not about people that are heavily into the hobby. It could be people coming to the hobby for the first time. Dark Angels are in the starter set.
They were in the starter set.
So
yep.
if you're a Dark Angel player, or you're getting into Warhammer 40,000, you're thinking, I'm going to get Dark Angels. Really, in your head, if you don't know much about them, you want to be looking for a Dark Angel Battle Force.
Exactly.
So you're not going to be looking for a Ravenwing Battle Force because you don't necessarily know what Ravenwing is.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's more for the people that aren't so deep into the fluff just yet.
It makes perfect sense to me. The big news, obviously, is we have a brand new Codex, another one of these big hardback
I'm
jobbies.
liking the look of the hardbacks. They look really nice.
Yeah, lovely.
They look as
It-
if
it
they'll,
is.
they'll
And it's
stand
nice
a
to
bit
see
of
them.
punishment now.
It's nice to see them step away from the blue framed
Yes.
book.
Yeah. It's a slicker presentation.
Yep.
Oh, we have the Deathwing Command Squad, which is the gorgeous looking Terminators. I think massive thumbs up there. I don't think anybody's going to complain about them. We have the Ravenwing Command Squad, which again is lovely looking stuff. I'm
Yep.
very pleased with that.
Don't disagree with you so far.
The Ravenwing Dark Talon.
I like it.
It's not the worst I've seen.
Yeah, I'm not.
It's
you
not a
know,
flying box.
It's not horrendous. Well, considering it's based on kind of Storm Talon type thing, anyway, it's
Yeah.
it's just
The Storm Talon isn't. I mean, no Space Marine stuff is pretty, but for me personally, the Storm Talon wasn't the most exciting model I've ever seen from GW. And if I had to pick 100 ways to improve the Storm Talon, one of those ways wouldn't be getting the wings from the old crashed Aquila Lander from the Battle for Macragge set and sticking them on the side. That wouldn't be the way I would look to improve that kit.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's a strange one. Do you know what? It's
I don't know,
it's
I kinda
not
like
it's
it.
not going to evoke a 2 girls 1 cup reaction from me the way the Storm Raven initially did.
Yeah.
Storm Toaster.
Yeah, the Storm Toaster.
Yes.
It didn't. The very fact that we're stuttering means we have to give it a chance. It may grow on us.
It is in black, which does tend to make things look a lot better anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
we'll see what the rules are like once we get our hands on the Codex.
Do you know what? Yeah, the model side, and yes, we're all very much concerned about how the model looks. I'm also very interested to see how it plays. So something tells me it'll not play particularly well. I just always have the feeling that those interesting looking models, the rules for them are never quite as up to.
It's a flyer though, 6th edition 40k flyers.
It is
Yeah.
very
Well, that's the thing though.
flyer-based. Yeah.
This is the second Codex for this edition of the book.
Yep.
Yep.
So this is going to give us the true sounding of what the rest of 6th edition is going to be like now.
I think you're probably right.
Well, now that you can compare it against 2 6th edition Codex instead
Yeah,
of
you
taking a
can
6th
you can take
and comparing it against 5th
Chaos,
edition.
you can take Dark Angels, you can start to do the direct comparison. It should point us in the right direction. And then, of course, our buddy Matt Ward will go, no, it won't. I'm going to take it a completely different direction. And
Here
Matt, you
he
have my
comes,
full
the
support.
Rickety.
We then have,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Missed one.
yeah, I deliberately glossed over one there. We have the Land Speeder Vengeance.
Oh,
Now, obviously, we don't have the pictures in this show, but the pictures are all over Beast of War now, and they have been everywhere for about 3 weeks now. So
Yeah.
it's what can you say about the Land Raider
What's
Vengeance?
your problem with it?
Speeder.
And speeder.
Oh, sorry, Land Speeder Vengeance.
Yeah.
Well-
I'd hate to see what they would do with the Land Raider if they were trying that.
It's so.
It looks like they've turned it into a lowrider.
Do you know what it is? It's so unnecessary. It's just so unnecessary. It's a land speeder with an altar stuck on the back of it.
Can be, yeah.
Yeah, and, a few candles.
Yeah.
Now these things go at like Mach 45. Do the candles not blow out? Are these special kind of warp
No,
candles?
it's like birthday candles. They do
Yeah.
go out, but
Oh, and
as
then
soon
they
as the land speeder
stops,
stops,
it comes back up
back
again.
up it
Yeah.
goes. Yeah. That's,
It's just so.
It just looks like stuff has been bolted
Do you
on
know
for
what?
no other reason than the
I
good.
don't know what it is. And I'm going to sound so stupid saying this, a 36-year-old man saying that my toy soldiers look so childish. But it's got a strange, there's been a
Gaudiness
strange gaudiness, childishness has kind of crept into it, that it's almost as if science has been forgotten completely.
In a game about...
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
okay.
It sounds so stupid when you say it, doesn't it? Yeah, look, it's not a particularly attractive model. It's a very strange model in the direction
I'm
that
going
they've
to take
taken
the
it.
stance of, get over it.
Yeah, I've got over
I
it. I've
want
got over it
candles.
already.
I'm going to have candles.
You just want more candles.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Maybe they're moving away from having skulls on everything, and now it's all going to be candles.
Do you think the next round of battle boards are all going to be like big pits of candles? That
Yeah,
yeah, excellent.
Yeah.
Eyes wide shut, guys. Eyes wide shut. Anyway, the other stuff that's coming out from Workshop, and this is quite exciting for me because it wasn't exciting before, just before Christmas when we all went out together as a big team. There was 15 or 16 of the people from the facility here all went, and we watched The Hobbit together.
Did?
Now, we watched it just as God intended it, 24 frames per second in 2T, and it was brilliant. I absolutely loved it. I was never much of a fan of Tolkien. I always felt that the Tolkien stuff was just a little bit twee. It took itself a little bit too seriously. The Lord of the Rings movies, as I've probably said on some of the shows in the past, I didn't like them. I enjoyed the extended ones because I was able to breathe while watching them and I understood the story better, whereas the first ones, I just felt it kind of jump, and it took itself so seriously.
Well, we discussed it. I've refused to go and watch it because I didn't enjoy the Lord of the Rings movies very much
Yeah.
at all. We had a brief discussion about it, and you were saying all that stuff. You'll like this one.
Yeah.
You'll like this one, Lloyd. Give it a shot. I haven't given it a shot yet. I might.
But you should, and I'll take you to do it, and we'll watch it in 3D at 48 frames per second. But what I like about it is this movie doesn't take itself too seriously.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's as if Peter Jackson has thought about his movie and he thought, do you know what? It's all maybe just a bit too serious. Let's make something that feels like adventure. Now, The Hobbit itself is a children's book. It was aimed more at kids anyway. But it feels more like, whenever I watched the first Harry Potter, I'm actually a big fan of Harry Potter because I enjoyed the progression of how it went. That first Harry Potter movie, you got that little sense of, oh, this is really good fun. I got that with The Hobbit. I loved it.
You're not saying that Harry
epic.
Potter gets ripped off by Lord of the Rings, are you? 'Cause
No.
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 Do you not find though that the Hobbit is interesting? I think maybe they've learned a little bit from the way that the Star Wars, the prequels for the Star Wars trilogy were done, because they were really, really serious. Very, very. I mean, Phantom Menace was so serious it got a bit dull, a lot. But the Hobbit seems to kind of recapture the kind of the adventure theme, as you're saying, a little bit like the original Star Wars was. In this, yeah. It's a Saturday morning Western in space kind of thing.
I walked out of The Hobbit thinking, I would actually really like to roleplay and board game in that world. Whereas Lord of the Rings, I always felt it was just a bit heavy, a bit too serious, a bit dry. But I walked out of The Hobbit thinking, I would love to be down in the goblin mines and stuff like that there. I want to be there on a mountain when massive rock monsters come to life, you know, and I don't feel silly by calling them rock monsters. You know, it felt like so much fun to me, I'm looking forward to seeing where this movie goes, and I'm looking forward to getting stuck into Workshop's interpretation of it as a game to try that out, because I think I could have a lot of fun for the next 2 or 3 years, and even if my fun only lasts 3, maybe 4 years. Do you know what? It's about having fun. You may not even have 3 or 4 years left in your life, so you know I'm going to go for it. That's very morbid for a Saturday morning, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. We probably do though, because the Mayans got it wrong.
Yes, well that's it. Well, so anyway, they're releasing the Felwargs. Check them out. Great Eagles, which I think are going to be great. Gwahir,
Lovely model.
beautiful model. It's like a redo and fine cast. And Riddles in the Dark, which will be him and Bilbo.
Just because I'm bald doesn't make me Gollum. No, but
That's true. That doesn't make you Gollum. That's right. Yeah.
Other stuff that's come out this week that you'll probably want to check out is Mantic have released some Goblin stuff for Kings of War.
Yep.
So there's the Goblin Rabble Regiment. which is quite nice. The Maw Beast pack, which I kind of like the little Maw Beasts with their kind of skull headpieces and stuff on. And the Goblin War trombone. It's well worth a look.
Absolutely.
Next, Weird Miniatures have 2 plastic sets out this week as well. The Guild Riflemen have come out, and Izamu the Armor. We'll do more on Malifaux later because there's going to be more stuff, but we have a Malifaux event as well.
We do.
Coming up that we'll be telling you more about. But do you want to spill the beans on what your thoughts are?
Yeah,
on
well,
that one,
it's just what we're doing. One of the things with Tabletop Nation is it's not just. I think if you just imagine Tabletop Nation is the physical building here, you're probably selling the concept a bit short. Tabletop Nation is an idea. It's more of a global community concept. So, and by that, it sounds very management-y speak now when I'm talking about it. But what I basically mean is it's about the community getting involved and collaborating with us here in our big old venue downstairs and really making something a bit special. We've got the resources here. We've got the screens, the bar, and all the tables, the terrain. We've got all the things that people would struggle to do when they want to put on an event. But what we would love is for all of the independent people out there, all of the clubs and all of that, to come in and say, we'd like to come into Tabletop Nation and we'd like to put on this X-Wing day or a Malifaux day or whatever the game's going to be, 40k campaign weekend. And that's really what we're getting started now in January. February sees a Malifaux one-day encounter with called Lost Love. And there's going to be a lot more information about that on the Tabletop Nation site and the Beast of War site and so on. But it's going to be really, really quite a good way for people to get into Malifaux. Maybe you've had a go before, but you've not really gotten into the background so much, or you've not really played very many games. It's a really, really good opportunity for you to come down and have a go, turn your hand at it, and see what you make of it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Nice. So, like I said, Malifaux is something as well that's going to be appearing more on the shows over the next few weeks. We start, get unboxings going, get a few games and stuff like that going, and talk a bit more about it because it is a mega game. It's one of the top mega games, and to be fair, we just haven't covered it anywhere near enough of what I would like to do.
It's worth mentioning just while we're talking about the new stuff coming out. I must admit, all credit to Weird, because some of the companies, when they get into plastics, it's almost like they feel they need to get into plastics, and they do a job, but actually the plastics that they bring out aren't as good necessarily as the metal models that they replaced.
Yeah.
I think Weird's plastic kits, though, are excellent. They're really, really good. Loads of options, loads of extra gubbins. I know it's later date we're going to talk a little bit about the Kickstarter with the role-play game they're working on. Some of the ideas, the components they've got on there, and the way that Weird are responding to the community, which is something that we want to be like in that respect. A good example was there was a bit of feedback saying that one of the torsos has got this like giant minigun thing. It's like a man's upper torso, which you can then attach to obviously all the legs and things to make your figure. But some of the community feedback was, but women could carry that, surely. So Weird have gone up and they've done up it's in prototype at the moment. There's going to be an extra component on one of the sprues, which will be a female adventurer torso to carry this giant minigun, because that's what you want to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, bad things will happen, and so all credit to Weird. I think they're doing a cracking job.
Absolutely. Avatars of War up next. Now, those guys released some dwarf stuff, and if you haven't seen it, you really need to go and have a look at these. The Dwarf Iron Shields, the Dwarf Iron Shields Command Group, and the Dwarf Veteran Champion. The Avatars of War stuff is absolutely stunning. Like, I mean, the stuff they're putting out is just...
It is good.
It's
It got off to a good start with the plastic berserker. Was it berserker?
Yeah. They did a big box of plastic berserkers. They were
that's
beautiful.
great.
Yeah.
But they've continued.
Yeah.
Well, look, during all that,
that
we've been firing up links where you can look at that on Wayland Games, so you can check it out on Wayland, you can check it out at your local hobby store, but do check them out, because there's some cool stuff that's come out this past week. I had mentioned when we were talking about 40k, about it all almost forgetting that it was science. So it's like the sciences went out of it. It's all mysticism that's kind of crept into it.
It's what the Emperor tried to stop.
You know,
Read the Horus Heresy.
you know, he didn't want that, but it's all mysticism. You know, it's very little science. So you do have land speeders flying around with candles on the outside and stuff like that. There, so it's all a bit weird. It brings me. I wish I kept it because it brings me to the perfect segue to talk about Rick Priestley's new venture. So Rick Priestley has a new venture called Dark Space Corp, which they're basically unveiling. They're not unveiling anything because it's not built yet. And they're unveiling Rick Priestley's new sci-fi universe that you're going to be able to game in, and it's called Beyond the Gates of Antares. Now, big wow. But what makes this different is, well, A, it's got Rick Priestley behind it, so that's definitely
Always a plus.
That's definitely worth a nod. B, he himself has said that this universe is hard science. Now, even though it's hard science, apparently it can still be every bit as weird and every bit as wonderful, but it's all based on hard science.
Okay.
Which I think is going to be interesting.
What do you mean hard science?
Well, in other words,
Science based in reality, or science just...
Hard science is the science on the top shelf with a brown wrap around it.
Yeah.
The type that Warren likes.
It's the...
No, but I mean, is it grounded in proper science, or does it leap out into mutants and stuff?
Well, you know, it would if it leaps out into a mutant or an alien.
Well, that is science, but
Yeah,
It'll have a scientific
it'll
explanation.
have a basis in reality. It shouldn't ever resort to that's just the way it is because it's magic. So I doubt if in Beyond the Gates of Antares we will ever see a vehicle with candles on the outside flying along with candles
Yes.
still
Well,
flickering.
you
It might
don't
have
really need them,
flares
so-
instead.
You know, if Rick is watching this, though, you know he's now going, no.
Yeah, no, that's that idea.
That's gone. Yeah.
The other big thing, and I suppose this is...
But that is hard science. It's going to be hard to make a candle that can go Mach 5 and not blow out.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's not going to be
grounded
there.
in
That's what I'm
reality.
saying. So, but I think one of the key differentiators in this project, and it has now went to Kickstarter link up,
Love Kickstarter.
go and check this out. One of the key differentiators is it's a living environment. So from what I can gather from speaking to those guys, as players play, you can feed back into the loop via the website, and they may have apps and stuff like that to do it. And as results and things like that come in, it actually reshapes.
Oh, so the world will evolve as everyone around the planet is playing it.
Yes.
That is cool. That is very cool.
That's you've pretty much summed it up. All that slabbering I've just done there for for how many minutes, he's just nailed it in one.
You see, I don't speak much, but I'm eloquent.
So yes, the world will evolve as we play.
Yeah.
And you know, and I think that's cool. I think it's now obviously, you know, it's not going to evolve on a willy-nilly basis, because my first comment was but there's a lot of gamers around the world. That's a lot of feedback. It'll evolve in a structured fashion. So parts of the world will be open to evolution at particular times. So it's not going to be an uncontrolled thing where you never really know what's going on. It's going to be a bit more controlled than that. So I'm really looking forward to it. Like, we had Rick Priestley on Turn 8 a few months back. It's probably more than a year now. Well, it was a few months ago anyway, where I had said to him, I believe, during it, well, you know, do you feel you've got any more sci-fi in you? And if it wasn't a Turn 8, it might have been a Salute. And I said to him, do you feel like you've got any more sci-fi in you? And he said to me at the time, oh yes. He says, there is so much that I haven't been able to explore. And that was the key. So you know, the links are there, guys. Go and check it out. And I think it's well worth supporting that one on Kickstarter. It's one that gets my seal of approval, not only because Rick Priestley is behind it, but because John Stallard from Warlord is behind it. And you know, John is a man that gets things done.
Absolutely.
So, you know, some Kickstarters you look at and you think, you know, is it worth supporting or not? This one, you know, the team behind it have a lot of experience.
John and Rick being involved in it together, that screams quality, because obviously John and Rick both played and created Warhammer, and it was played in, I believe it was John's lounge. When they play tested, the original Warhammer was played in his lounge. So if those two guys are involved, that's a pedigree I think that's going to take some beating.
Yeah, it's gonna, and it's. I'm sure it's gonna take those guys back as well. You know,
yeah.
it's. It'll be interesting to see. You know, we've been talking over the years about getting a new breed into creating games and stuff like that there. But this is interesting because these are ex-Games Workshop coming out and being able to do something completely fresh. So they are, in effect, a new breed, but with a mountain of experience behind them.
Is it ex-Games Workshop or post-Games Workshop? Because
Yeah,
I feel looking at some of the stuff they're doing, it's almost taking all the great things they did, and which Games Workshop still do, a lot of great things based on things they worked on, but they seem to be taking their own personal interests and their own the things that really got them excited in the first place to the next stage. So it's post.
It's their own
It's a nice way
evolution
to
of
describe
what they were working on.
Yeah, I think so.
Speaking of Kickstarter, the other big Kickstarter news this week is Kingdom Death have bust $1 million.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen Kingdom Death's Kickstarter, Monster, where have you been? And why are you only hearing about it now on the Weekender? Go and check it out. They've reached $1 million. Look, this, you know, there's about 2 days to go now. It should reach $2 million. It's that good. It's just such a sexy product.
No, the miniatures are beautiful. Every last sculpt I see coming out from Kingdom Death is always something absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Or horribly beautiful in its own way.
Adam, the key guy behind it, is such a stickler for quality, though, as well. He is so tuned into quality on that game. It's like, he just will not accept second best.
They've been working on that for a long, long time.
He has, yeah.
We've seen pictures of him board. Feels like years ago.
Yeah.
Years.
Yeah, we'd seen initial stuff of that some time ago. We couldn't talk about it, obviously, at the time. But it's been in production for a long, long time. But the simple fact is, Adam he's such a stickler for detail. He's such a stickler for quality. He just will not accept second best. And, you know, I salute him for that. You
Absolutely.
know.
It makes you look at it and say, right, it's been on for this long. I'm hoping for a really, really great product at the end of this.
Yeah, this one and Sedition Wars were two Kickstarters that, for me, really broke the mold. You know, it is just such a high quality thing that they were putting together, and Kickstarter's the only thing that's made that possible. So, you know, I'm just so excited about it, and I cannot wait to see where they come out on that one. Right. Things that you may have missed. There was a couple of forums. The forums have been a little bit slower. Not surprising, considering that we've basically been down sick and we've been moving and everything has been kind of running through custard for a few months, and it's been Christmas. But there have been a couple of interesting forum topics that are well worth checking out. One of them was the 40K's greatest HQ choice. Now, Stu, you are a big 40K guy yourself.
I do like a bit of 40K, yeah.
What would you reckon if you had to pick one?
Well, see, do you mean 40K? When you're saying 40K, are we just talking the codexes, or are we allowing Forge World stuff, or the Horus Heresy stuff, or where are we going?
I'd say let's stick to codexes.
Let's stick to the codexes. I'm very excited about a lot of the newer HQ choices coming out in the codexes. I think you can't go far wrong with some of the Grey Knight special characters. I think they're most of them. Drago in particular, I think is pretty hench when it comes to a good HQ choice. Of course, you then have to get a Grey Knight army to go with it, but you know that's not a bad thing.
Yeah, it's not a bad thing. What about you?
Well, me, I'm going to stick with the old favourite, Abaddon. People have said he's took a kicking in the new codex, but I think he can still fight the bit out.
So Abaddon used to be a good one, and then he became Abaddon.
Aye, people are now saying he's Abaddon, but I still think he's a good one.
Oh, you still think he's a good one?
Yeah, I still think he's a good one.
Okay.
Right, if you followed that, well done.
That's never going to get old.
Lloyd?
I'm not a big fan of HQs.
No?
No, I like to avoid them. Probably because I'm playing Tau mostly.
Ethereal.
Yeah.
Their HQs do suffer a bit.
Yeah, but
You go to your Commander Foresight and you're thinking, oh, I'll kick some butt with this guy.
Nope.
Not really.
no.
Is he not going to shoot very much?
This is going to be your year, Lloyd. This is going to be your year.
You think
The
they'll
Tau.
revamp them?
Yes, Tau definitely this year.
I think so.
Well,
Definitely.
they're the
This
oldest
is
now,
your
aren't they?
year, bro.
You think?
We made it through the apocalypse, and you get Tau. It's like you've totally landed on your feet in 2013.
Look at that grin.
For me, I'm going to pick Belial.
Yep.
And the reason I picked Belial is very simply because he allows for an old Terminator army. And for as long as I can remember, I have just adored Terminators.
That's exactly why I wouldn't pick him. Boring.
Yeah, but it's not boring to me because I like Terminators. To me, are a canvas because I can shape and work with the Terminator. Because it's a bigger form of Space Marine, I can stick more on him. So I get 50% or 100% more purity seals on him. I could stick candles on these guys. I'm going to clip them off the Land Speeder Vengeance, and I'm going to stick them on my Termies.
I suppose that is true. You take a shoulder pad and stick it on his head or something.
Yeah.
I think I've seen that done. Somewhere in the studio there is a Space Marine with a shoulder pad for a psychic hood.
That's mine.
No,
That's yours.
Yeah, I've done that as well, actually. I made a librarian by sticking a shoulder pad on his head.
Probably the same thing.
I suppose I can't really talk. The first Space Marines I got, I put the shoulder plates on the wrong way around.
What,
Oh, so
like,
went out sideways.
So they were out the Broadway.
what, you made him little, like...
John Collins.
If anyone's watched Dragon Ball Z, the Saiyan armor, basically that was the shoulder pads.
Oh, nice. Nice. Okay.
So pretty much the Forge or Cataphracts, basically. So the armour going out like that.
Yeah.
The armor came out and then just bumped down.
Excellent.
And then you had the big cut across.
Ah, sounds awesome.
But you know what? See, that's what it's always been about. You should have pretended you did that deliberately.
No.
Yeah. So,
And unlike most people at this table, you in particular, I put my hand up to a mistake.
what do you mean, me in particular? That's only because I rarely make mistakes. Another interesting forum topic, go and check it out, is somebody's thinking of starting Warhammer Fantasy. Now, fantasy. Stu?
Yeah,
You've been a
Warhammer.
fantasy player.
I love Warhammer. It's gone through a few changes, so obviously if you'd asked me a couple of years ago, my advice would have been maybe different to what it is now since we've had the latest edition of the game. I really like both of the starting armies that you get in the Island of Blood. I think both High Elves and Skaven are excellent choices. For me, I think and just in case anybody here is going to suggest Dwarves, I think any army that allows you to use all of the phases of the game, so the magic phase, shooting, combat, the whole works, I think is a really good start. Obviously, personally, it has to be Dark Elves, but that's a personal preference.
Yeah. So, I don't know. For me, for Warhammer, I would go with a combination of the look, right, and for interesting modes of play. So orcs would be one for me because I've always loved the look of orcs anyway. I love the Tide of Green.
But that harks back to this thing that orcs are really easy to customize, like your Space Marines. You can stick.
Yeah, I can just stick loads of stuff on them. Yeah, candles that I've clipped off my my Land Speeder Vengeance. But that different modes of play. The other army that has always kind of appealed to me has been the Vampire Counts, because of the quality of them. I'm not a big fan of Bretonians and stuff like that there because I would find it very difficult to paint.
I find the Bretonians look a bit dry anyway. I like the High Elves. I like anything with dragons, to be honest.
High Elves would be an interesting one to go for because we reckon they're going to get an update this year as well. So they look like they're on the agenda for an update. The dragons in the High Elves are gorgeous.
I must admit that's one thing where the Dark Elves did slip a little bit in my love was the latest Dark Elf dragon, which looked a bit Ray Harryhausen for my tastes. It was a little bit.
Yeah, so for me, orcs or vampire counts, neither is particularly difficult to play. Orcs you'll have a lot of fun with. Vampire counts, well, in the previous edition you had a lot of fun with vampire counts because you just raised the dead all day long. Now it's got some gorgeous models in it though, and that kind of makes up for it. If you were going to have a crack at it, Justin, what do you think?
Well, I've actually been speaking to some of the lads down in Tabletop Nation, and they said they're going to teach me to play dwarves. Throne of Skulls is coming up soon, and one of them's thinking of lending me an army if I can get a ticket and get myself up.
Yeah, so you dwarves in.
Dwarves.
Yep, I like being short, angry, and having big cannons behind me.
One of the things I'll be interested in finding out is if dwarves still operate best in a single line right along the back of the table.
No, that's not the army I've been told that I'm taking. Apparently, it was called a Longbeard's army. And it's apparently incredibly annoying. It's been created by one of our local veterans, Swampy. You may meet him at some point.
Yes, I think you're going to meet Swampy, who is
So I'm expecting something
another
simple
version of
and cheesy.
Daryl. Daryl and Swampy. I can't wait to get those guys together.
So it's
Like-
a broken army list then. He's
Apparently-
wrecked Warhammer.
Yeah.
Apparently,
So
I'm
what
going
you're
to go there
suggesting-
for my first tournament and just go,
So what you're suggesting is you're going to turn up, put this army out, and pretend it's yours when really you just
no,
recycled
I'm not,
someone
because
else's
I've just told everybody online. So everybody who's watching this, who sees me there, will just go, oh, right, so this is the one that you've been lent.
There's Baldy with Swampy's army.
Well, there's no point pretending to be good at any game you're not good at.
Yeah.
You know, so if I end up coming anywhere up in the high end of the tournament, I'm just going to go, right, that's the army, that's not me.
That's not me. I put that on the table and it did it itself. What utter nonsense.
Sahan, you're telling me that you cannot make an army that even an idiot can play.
No.
No, there is
But-
no army that even an idiot
No,
can
there's
play.
no army that even an idiot can
And
play.
that's why you get beat so often.
Fair point.
It's because you're an idiot.
I've never denied that fact.
What utter nonsense. Every army needs a player behind it. You're the one moving the things around. If you just set it down there and said, win, it's not going to do anything.
No,
It's like,
The rules for the army and what it can do.
no, but it doesn't matter. You still need to know how to work it. The cheesiest army out there still needs somebody to enact the cheese to make it work.
All right.
And if you're up against a good player, he'll wipe the floor with you, regardless of what you put
No,
down.
that's-
Because it's the player,
that's fair enough.
not the army.
If the player is incredibly good, yes, they will wipe the floor with anyone because they'll know, right, I don't want to go near that. I do want to eat that.
Do you know what? We'll get you to Throne of Skulls, and you can come back and tell us all about it. That'll be the
Oh,
thing, you know.
nice.
So
I don't want to go near that, and I want to eat that. This sounds like you in a salad bar.
it does, yeah. And the beauty of it is when he comes last place and he puts the army away and says, "It wasn't the army, it was me." Okay, I'm going to wrap this up, but we've got one more thing that I want to talk about, and one more thing for you guys, and that is Fantasy Flight Games have put out the images of the Millennium Falcon. For you guys, if you've been playing X-Wing, nice, and if you haven't been playing X-Wing, you probably want to go and take a look at this one. This game, this is going to be around for a while. I think this is going to be one of the mainstay war games. And for me, it's been the most... How do I put this? I don't want to use the word innovative, because in and of itself, there's nothing innovative about it. It's Star Wars, which already existed. It's pre-painted models, which we've already known about. However, it's executed very, very well. The execution of it is very good. And the game itself is tight, it's good, and it's growing. And they're talking about Millennium Falcon, which, funny enough, I happen to have here, and which you guys will be seeing shortly, because this belongs to him, actually.
Thank you very much.
This has come in for an event that we're going to do.
That's right.
It's the Kessel Run.
I haven't seen it yet. Oh, are we gander at this?
Yeah, the Kessel Run. So not next Saturday, Saturday after, so that's the 19th. We've got a one-day event here at Tabletop Nation. You're going to bring yourself down 100 points of either Imperials or the Rebellion. And at the moment, with the current model range, you're basically looking like a load of TIE fighters or some X-Wings and some Y-Wings is effectively how it's going to go. You're going to play a series of games, and we're going to see who is the ultimate champion on the day. The winner on the day will get their choice. Basically, we're looking for 4 winners. So the top 4 places. Person in first place gets to pick their first pick of a range of models that we're going to have for people to get. So the Millennium Falcon is going to be up for grabs. So if you win, I would imagine the Falcon is probably going to go to the first place.
Yeah.
We've also got Slave 1, or your fire spray patrol ship, I believe it actually is.
Yes, because this is a YT 1300.
It is a YT 1300 for all you Star Wars buffs
modified
out there.
with
Of course.
engine upgrades, and that's why it was able to do the Kessel Run in 12 parsecs.
Yeah, but that's actually the great thing about the game, is that with this, I mean, you look at it, you go, the Millennium Falcon, well, I can only ever have one Millennium Falcon in my force. Well, actually, no, because you can only have one Millennium Falcon, but there's extra cards in here that actually let you take this as a freighter as a stock freighter,
YT 1300 freighter.
Yeah.
And then you can field multiples of them.
Exactly. So even if you've got one of these on advance order from Wayland, or you've got your local retailer and you've already promised you're going to pick one up, if you win this, if you come along to the event and you win it, it's fine. You've got two. One of them being your decoy stock version, your other one being the Falcon. We also got for grabs, as I say, we've got Boba Fett Slave 1. You've got the new A-Wing, which is going to be a vitally needed reinforcement for the Rebellion. But don't forget the Imperials are getting the TIE Interceptor, which is a tasty bit of kit. Yeah. So some really, really great prizes to be won. It's a one-day event, and most importantly, it's free. So get yourself down, free to play. We're going to get kicked off about 9, half 9 on 2 Saturdays' time, and it should be a lot of fun and a good opportunity to show your worth at X-Wing.
Yeah, there'll be some of us at that event. I don't know if we'll be playing or just hovering around and annoying people.
When you say 2 Saturdays' time, are you counting today, Saturday, and next week?
So
it's Saturday the 19th of January.
Yeah, so not next Saturday, Saturday after.
Yeah, Saturday the 19th of January 2013. And like I said, there should be at least a couple of Beast of War team members at that. Just soaking up the atmosphere and enjoying a bit of X-Wing. That pretty much wraps it up, guys. One other quick notice is I'm after any clubs or guys that play just together who have either an interest in mercs or playing mercs. I'd like you to sign up and PM me on the website, or send an email to warren@beastsofwar.com because I have some mercs things coming up, and I really want to reach out to any clubs or any just groups, informal groups of gamers who want to get involved in something quite exciting and quite interesting. Please, please reach out to me. And if you know anybody, if you're not into it yourself, but you know anybody into it, point them to the end of this video and tell them to get in touch. We'll also be putting posts up about this galore, but you know, you guys watching the Weekender get the first stab at it. So anyway, guys, we hope you enjoyed that. This show's going to evolve and change over the next few weeks, but that's basically just a recap of some of the cool stuff that you may or may not have missed over the last week on Beasts of War. Thank you very much for watching, and enjoy the rest of your Saturday.